Not from Los Angeles, California, nor San Jose. Smokey Daze Haze. I'm Smokey Daze Haze, the idiot savant of comedy, and whether you like it or don't like it, learn to laugh because I'm the funniest person going today. I mean, not everyone has a bone in their ass or a bone up their ass or, I guess, a funny bone. Well, I guess a funny bone's in your elbow, but pretty much everyone I would talk to on the phone, everyone I would meet, everyone I might have conversations with, they start laughing hysterical, even when I'm serious. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well do this stand-up. Maybe it's something to it. If not, I'll find out pretty quick, right? So, you know, I was like watching, well, I guess a bone up the ass is something different, right? Having a bone up your ass, but anyways, let's forget all that, You know, I was watching this thing, like The Dirtiest Dozen of Comedy. I don't know, it was like a repeat from like 1989, you know, I'm watching the stand-up, I'm not really laughing at too much of the stuff, but, you know, it's late at night, and then I see Chris Rock's coming on, I'm like, oh, you know, this might be funny, because, you know, I remember him from, like, Living Color, like, they used to savage him, and then, like, you know, he was in the movie, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, and he's like, how much for one rib? And then he's like, fuck the cup, pour in my hands, 15 cents. You know, and, like, he played that character, that was pretty funny, and then he had, like, the Buddha sack character from King of the Hill in one episode, I think it was called Traffic Jam, it was supposed to be Bust a Nut, and then he tried Bust a Sack, but the censors wouldn't let him have it, so I'm thinking, wow, this guy's, you know, maybe he'll be actually funny, not like, you know, not be horrible. So he comes on stage, and it's like he's got like the funny hair, like a reject from a Kid and Play movie or something like that, like the guy that didn't make the cut, he couldn't make it as Kid, he couldn't make it as Play or whatever, he couldn't even make it as one of the party actors. It was like crack rock, not even like Chris Rock. He was like he was a living crack rock. He was kind of like the guy Pookie from, I think, I don't know, like New Jack City. And it's like the guy was like, he's dipping into the merchandise, and he's snitching on them, and they wonder what happens to him. So it's like, first of all, dude, you look like a crack rock. So he comes out with this stupid thing, like, first of all, he wasn't funny at all, spoiler alert. So he starts talking about, like, I was born a suspect. I'm like, no, you look like a crack rock. You look like you smoked a crack rock. You look like a crackhead. You know what I mean? You're probably high on crack. So yeah, when people walk by, they're probably clutching their purse and doing kung fu moves, or you think they're doing it because you're so high on crack. So if you want to talk about a suspect, when I used to go to the stores, true story, I'd have my leather jacket, I'd have my long hair, I'd have more money in my pocket than the guys making in a friggin' week. But you know what? They treated me like shit. They asked me to leave the store. I remember once I'm in the store, and I'm like this, and I'm looking, and like there was like, you know, because the bottom shelf, that IBC root beer, I really used to use, like, you know, bottle of root beer, like root beer in a bottle. And the guy comes up to me and said, would you please just leave? And that would happen to me. You know what I mean? I have money, I'm going to buy stuff, like, would you just please leave? So you know what, Chris Rock, I don't want to hear about your suspect thing. Then he's going on, he's saying like he's, you know, he's like 21 years old, and he lives at home, and the only thing worse than that is someone 28, like his friends that live at home, you know, like, you know, he's not as bad as them. And then he's going on, he's like, the only thing worse than that is a woman that would sneak into his bed. But you know what, now people like 30, 40 years old, they're living at home, and the women don't even have to speak. Their partner don't even have to sneak in the bed. The freaking parents are sitting there watching it. Their parents are probably live streaming it. They probably run a website. They're probably making some money on it. It's like there's no shame anymore. There's no dignity. So it's like, you know what I mean, this whole like sort of stick, it just wasn't going anywhere. And I was like, wow, man, Chris Rock just isn't funny. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, you know, he was funny, you know, he did some funny characters later on, but I'm like, you know what, I don't want to hear about your crap. But it was pretty funny with that, because it's like how times have changed compared to what we're at now. But, so anyway, I had this dream, like, you know, in my dream, even when it's like, you know, I get a call in my dream. And it's like, whenever I'm trying to take a shit, someone will always call me. So in my dream, I get a call, I'm trying to take a shit. And I get a call, and I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to push the kids in the pool. I'm trying to drown the kids in the pool. They're fighting, they're struggling, I can't really talk right now. I'm trying to drown the kids in the pool. And the next thing I know, when I get out of the bathroom, the cops are at my house, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so you even get swatted in your dreams? I'm like, first of all, I don't have a pool. Second of all, I don't have kids. And third of all, my neighbor's the one with the pool and the kids. He's the one you want. And just at that moment, he was trying to push the kid in the pool, and he's like yelling, and the cops go over there, you know, I really miss my neighbor. No, seriously, I was like, no, it's a euphemism for taking a shit. And the thing is, it's like, you know what? People are so stupid now, it's like, if you don't even know what a coyote is. So they can fact check everything else, but they can't do a little thing like a coyote's a smuggler. And people think that they're the smart ones and they're doing all these memes and all these things, but like a coyote's like taking a kid across the border and stuff. It's like ridiculous. So, you know what? Let's get back into reality. Let's wake up. Let's talk about some crazy ladies. I knew this kid, Mike, Snapper Mike, Barlow. We're in this place, TNT. I'm going there for a jolt. and all of a sudden this lady like walks up to me. She asked me about the train station or like the bus schedule. Everyone that knows me knows I have no idea about that. So I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I don't know, whatever. She's like, yes you do, yes you fucking do. And she just fucking goes flipping out on me in the store, and the guy, like, she leaves, and then the guy's like, you know, remember where it's coming from. The worst part, they don't even have a joke. Then when I'm in the car, she tries to talk to me and my friend, and goes, oh, you know, I'm sorry, I yelled at you, I'm sorry, I got mad, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, man, you know, I even got in the car, and then she just friggin' like bangs on his car. Mike just took off. Mike didn't want any part of that. Then I had a friend, Pete, like Pete Gambino, and we're in the store, like we're in Wendy's. I think it was Wendy's twice. And he made the mistake to look at the crazy homeless lady, and the crazy homeless lady's like, don't you look at me! Don't you fucking look at me! Ah! Like yelling and screaming, like, Pete, I already been there, I already done that. And so, we'll keep on that same topic. You know, I used to be on like Facebook a lot. I used to know this girl, and like, so her friend is like Alicia Smith. And like, I didn't know this, but she sent me like this nasty message because I was worried about a friend. I sent her like a private message, and then she flipped out on me and said all this nasty shit. So yeah, I didn't really think anything of it because I had no idea what it is. She'd write all this BDSM, all this crazy shit on her profiles and shit. You know what I mean? Like, man, and this, and this, and this, and this. You couldn't even believe the shit she wrote. So then I'm watching like the People's Court in the Mission. I see Gloria Allred, like the friggin' ambulance chaser, and she's there with Alicia Smith. It turned out she was the assistant DA in New York. She had a big bank case. She was on like the New York Post. She was getting all these money and all these gifts from BDSM. So it was like pretty funny. Then her friend Amy Diamond, who I knew, you know, we'll talk about that another time. But anyway, I'm watching another news station, like the same news station, and I see like the woman, 181 Rocky Point or something like that. She drives a Jeep through the friggin' car, like through the house. And then she tries to flee on foot, and they have to chase her down and like tackle her. And she's talking how her dad's like a police officer and all this other shit. It's so funny, but you know what I mean? She said she drove a Jeep through the car and then she tried to flee. I even recognized the Jeep because I've been in the Jeep. You know, I hung out with her. She drove around and stuff. So it's like, you know what I mean? People that I know what you mean are like very sensitive, because I'd be like, I'm a plane crash away from ending up on your dinner plate, and then they would block me on Facebook and shit like that, and they get really mad. So I was like on Facebook, and like my first girlfriend Denise, she's like become such a mom. She's like posting stuff about, you know, like she's playing Uno and stuff, and I'm like, people still play Uno? I've been waiting for decades for the sequel, Duo DOS, to come out, or even the Trace one. So you know what I mean? You'd think there'd be a sequel to that by now. But you know, true story, when I got older, I used to think that like when I all of a sudden I would stop peeing out of my ass for some reason. I don't know if I had diarrhea at some point or something, or maybe because, you know, females would be sitting on the toilet and they'd be peeing, and so I thought like that's how I'd pee it. So I don't know, maybe I had watery stool or something once. So I really believed that. Like when I was young, I thought at some point all of a sudden I'd stop peeing out my ass. And then you know, I used to, you know how like old people always tell you, like, you know, when I was your age, I was walking in a coal mine, I was doing this, I was doing that. So I used to always do that with my younger cousins. I finally got this one, Jeff. He's like one of my younger cousins. And I'm like, when I was your age, I used to have to walk to school uphill, 10 miles both ways. And he's like, both ways? Both ways? I think he was just like complaining because he didn't want to walk to school or something, or school. But you know what? I don't have much time left. I'm going to try to do a song in the time I have left, and here we go. What do you do with the drunken sailor? What do you do with the drunken sailor? What do you do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Fuck him in the ass till he's sober. Fuck him in the ass till he's sober. Fuck him in the ass till he's sober. Early in the morning. Way hey up his anus. Way hey up his anus. Way hey up his anus. Early in the morning. Shave his balls with a rusty razor. Shave his balls with a rusty razor. Shave his balls with a rusty razor. Early in the morning. Way hey up his scrotum. Way hey up his scrotum. Way hey up his scrotum. Early in the morning. Put a catheter in his penis. Put a catheter in his penis. Put a catheter in his penis. Early in the morning. Way hey up his penis. Way hey up his penis. Way hey up his penis. Early in the morning. That's what you do with the drunken sailor. That's what you do with the drunken sailor. That's what you do with the drunken sailor. Early in the morning. Thank you, thank you. Take him to the pub and get him drunker. Take him to the pub and get him drunker.